Greetings, YouTube! It's your buddy Choppadong coming at you with another episode of ChopTalk brought to you by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things DFS related. We have all the sports covered, but of course we're concerned about football. It is back, it's ready, time to rock and roll. I'm breaking down the NFL Research Station from DFSArmy.com in hopes that you will go to the comments section, click the link, become a VIP, and get the content, the tools, the coaching, everything that's going to make you a better DFSA player, because after all, that's what we are attempting to do inside DFS Army as coaches, is make you a better player. It's the only place you're going to find the commitment. It's the only place you're going to find the responsiveness. It's the only place you're going to find the community built around you that shares everything they've got with you. We don't hold back our special place. We don't try to lead the chalk one direction and then go a different direction like you hear rumors of other people doing, which honestly I don't really think they do that much either. But we don't do that, I can promise you that, because I know everybody personally inside DFS Army, and we are dedicated to helping you become a better player today. Use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, get that 10% off discount, and start improving your game right now. We're getting ready for week 1 this week. It's Labor Day Monday. I'm going to bust up the last little section of the Research Station tour, and it's on defenses, which is kind of interesting because until a couple of years ago, I really was looking at defenses the wrong way. I was looking at defenses as, I need these stellar, stout defenses that give up no points. I'm trying to get that shutout. And of course I was thinking turnovers and sacks are nice, but I wasn't looking at the situations that create those turnovers and those sacks and whatever. And honestly, my light bulb clicked on when I started doing a little bit of research last year and went, you know what? The main thing is to be a heavy favorite. That puts a defense in play. If you are, especially if you're more than a touchdown favorite. If you're just favored, that's great. If you are more than a touchdown favorite, odds are that offense on the other team is going to be pinning its ears back and launching that football. The more that football's up in the air, the more chances we have for turnovers, busted plays, pick sixes. The less that team is supposed to win, the more punting they're going to be doing, the more special teams opportunities we're going to get. And that just leads to fantasy goodness for our defense when they're in that situation. The bigger the spread, the better. Over 6 points, great. Over 9 points, even better. We're trying to find the strongest of the plays. If you haven't seen the series, click down in the comment section or go through my YouTube channel when you like or subscribe and thumb back through the last couple of videos. You'll see quarterbacks broken down, wide receivers broken down. We just did tight ends yesterday or the day before. And you're going to see the parameters which I'm looking for. And again, this is not designed to show you, hey, psst, yo, secret, this guy's going to be 1% owned. That ain't how I play. I will do that on my own. I will do that in other ways and maybe alert people to tips when I think there's a pretty strong one people are missing. But generally what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the games, game by game, and I'm going to kind of break them down, get a basic idea of game flow, point spread from Vegas and all that stuff. And then I'm going to be looking at who are the players within. If you follow my baseball stuff, you know I'm looking for the logical stuff. I'm looking for the pitchers that are supposed to do well, the pitchers that are supposed to be bad. And then when I target the pitchers that are supposed to be bad, I'm looking for who's the hot hitters in the offense facing that bad pitcher, and that's who I target. I take that philosophy and put it into NFL as well. I'm looking for the offenses that are supposed to be good, and then we're looking in a good spot that day, and then we're looking for the players inside the offense likely to get the most production. I don't give a rat's butt about that wide receiver number 3 who steps onto the field and all of a sudden hits a 70. You can't predict that. The guy's only going to get 3 targets all day long. How did you know he was going to connect on 2 of them for 60 yards and 2 scores? You didn't. Nobody did. You may know it was possible and it may be a deep GPP flyer, but that's not skill in predicting the exact week that's going to happen. You're going to hear me say a couple of things over and over and over again. If we ran the slate 100 times, who is supposed to be the most active? Who is supposed to be the most efficient? Who is supposed to be the most productive? That's what I care about. Everybody's going to have their outliers. Yes, you're going to see Le'Veon Bell put up a dud performance once in a while, and you're going to see him put up a monster performance once in a while. I'm looking for the scenario that says more times than not, he's going to put up very, very good numbers. If it's saying more times than not, he's going to struggle to put up good numbers, boom. He's overpriced and I'm out of there. I'm going to be looking for other people. That's just the way I play the game. That's what you follow me for. Hopefully you take that and then you formulate your own thoughts from there. And then you start moving forward with your own research and who you like and who you don't like. There may be times you look at me and you go, man, that dude is batshit nuts. He's so far off base on that play, I don't even know what he's thinking. That's fine, because what you're going to find is when you trust yourself, you may use me to cut some of your research down. You may use that guy to cut some of your research down, but what you're ending up really doing is saving yourself time. And hopefully you're taking that time and you're saying, okay, these guys generally agree that this is the way this is supposed to go. This is generally the way things are going to happen. But you're always going to see something that you like better than I do and run with that. That's how you get smart contrarian. That's how you get unique tournament lineups, is you see something that I was overlooking or the masses were overlooking. And sometimes you hit on those plays, and that's when you have your best weeks. You have to get the confidence in that. And that's why you need the coaching inside DFSArmy.com, because that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Is that play, you explained it to me, that play makes sense. I was just on the phone the other day with a buddy of mine who called up and said, hey dude, I've got this idea about my fantasy draft, and I was thinking this and this and this, and everybody's thinking Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson. I don't think those guys are necessarily going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 this year. I think this guy here has an outside shot at being the number 2 running back on the year. And when he laid it out with OC changes and all that, I was like, hey, makes sense, man. Do it. Reach for it. Pick it number 2 with your second overall pick. You're not going to hear me say boo. I'd laugh at you if I did not know that was your reasoning behind it. I would look at you in our draft if you hadn't called me beforehand, and I'd laugh at you and say, man, that was dumb. But the minute you explain that to me, I'm going to go, whoa, that makes sense. Do it, man. You got to have faith in yourself. You've got to move forward. Let's move forward with some defenses, and let's talk. I already told you about point spreads. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these Vegas lines, and we're going to take the spread, and we're going to filter out the favorites. Doesn't mean that these underdogs are not in play. It just means that generally that's not who we're paying attention to. So when I load that up and I shift these down to all just the favorites, look at that 9.5 point favorite for Tampa Bay. It's actually for New Orleans facing Tampa Bay. New Orleans defense definitely in play. New England defense in play. Baltimore defense going to be chalky in play. You go down a little bit more to some of the other stronger favorites, and this is just one way to do it. All right? If you want to, you could even sort those guys to the top by going in descending order, and now I don't need to worry. Whoop, got my negatives backed up. Ascending order will bring those big negative numbers to the top, and that's going to rank my biggest spreads. This is where I'm going to start when I'm looking at these defenses. It really is that simple, guys. You're going to know what defenses tend to score points. You know that Philadelphia might always be in play, and I guess we don't have that slate on there yet. I still don't know why. But you're going to see some of these things, and you're going to know that these are special teams type defenses, and they're always in play. Jacksonville may be on the road, but they are favored by 3 points. If they were at home, they'd be favored by, what, 6 or so? So they would definitely be in play, and they still are actually in play. We know that Eli Manning can throw picks, but they're more of a GPP play, because by the historical numbers, teams that are big favorites tend to hit value, tend to score more points. And that's what we're looking for. I can forego Jacksonville today in my cash lineups and play New Orleans or Baltimore or something like that. And then I can come back to Jacksonville when they're at home or when they're favored. Now, I don't necessarily need the home road favorite or the home or road team thing. I just need the big spread in my favor. That's going to eventually happen. And that's fine. And numbers will also bear out. The other thing that we're looking for is we're looking for the opponent team total to be very, very low. And the way I can find that is I can take this number off, and I can take just the team totals that are under a certain number. And when I use those numbers, I'm looking for under 22, under 20, under 18. Under 18 is monstrous. If I find those, I'm going to get very excited, especially if they are big underdogs. See this big underdog thing? It's just flip-flopping the numbers. So when I take this and it's sorted by ascending again, now what I've got is I've got the big favorites at the bottom. Let's actually go the other way around. Let's take the team total. Let's sort that by descending order. So we've got the low numbers at the actually, let's flip it over and do it by ascending order. It's week 1. I'm rusty too. I've got an 18, 6-point spread. That's Buffalo. Opponent, Baltimore. That's the defense we should be looking at. Baltimore. Just found them in 3 minutes. It was 5-6 minutes of jibber jabber before that. Just found your number 1 defense on the week. Denver. Look at that. Seattle scoring under 20 points. Denver's favored in the game. Denver's technically in an okay spot. You're not going to like them as much as Baltimore, but they're in play. Jacksonville, there they are. They may be on the road, but they're a 3-point favorite facing the New York Giants, who are only scheduled to score about 20 points. That's a good, strong indicator. You get up here towards the 22s and stuff, and it's a smaller indicator, unless the spread is massive. If the spread is massive, it's okay to get into shootouts and actually have your defense in play. It's more of a GPP type of pick, but it's definitely playable. And the reason why is because when there are 30 points scored for this team and 30 for that team, that ball was flying all over the place, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That defense was in position to get a lot of sacks and get a lot of turnovers potentially. That's what we want to see. Just last year, New Orleans Saints came on about week 6, week 7, somewhere in there, and put up some monster number. Did you have them that week? I did. They were supposed to be in a shootout. And that meant good throwing back and forth. And if the team was a capitalistic team, they're in a good spot. So you can't just necessarily go on to game flow. And you're looking for the low team totals and the big favorites, because that's showing you inept offenses that struggle, offenses that are sloppy, that are inefficient, that are going to be throwing late in the game. That's true. But you can't shy away from the shootouts. If we had some game at a 57 total and a 6-point spread, I'm taking the defense of the favorite in that game. I'm going to have some exposure to him, because it only makes sense. There's going to be a lot of throwing of the football. When that ball's in the air, it's up for grabs. Okay, this isn't all we look at. This is just part of what we look at. For the rest of what we look at, you're going to have to tune into Wishbone this week. You're going to have to tune into our other content providers that are dropping knowledge all over the place all week long. We've got probably 8 to 10 articles scheduled to drop this week alone. Most of it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but a couple of them a little bit early on. And I want you to tune in. I want you to go to dfsarmy.com, follow the link in the comments section below, and take a peek at what it is that we have to offer, because you're going to want to become a VIP. You're going to want to jump in. There's a free roll for our members. I may throw that link in this video. Now, you know what? I probably won't. We need to keep that in-house for a little while. It's a 2,000 player free roll. It's got a few hundred players in it already. It is absolutely free to our VIPs. There are top 3 places get DFS Army swag bags, hat, shirt, stuff like that. And on top of that, there's $1,000 added by Fantasy Draft. It's on Fantasy Draft. That I don't believe that's one of the sites that does the free trial for us. It might be. You'd have to go right up here to dfsarmy.com, go to the tools section, go to the VIP membership, and click the free offers and see if that's one of the free offers. But either way, enter that free roll. Get the link inside our Slack channels or inside some of our VIP articles, and I want you to become eligible for that $1,000 money added guaranteed free roll that we're promoting as a sign or as a celebration that we've added Fantasy Draft to our optimizer, the Domination Station. That's just another way that we're constantly growing and constantly up in our game and constantly revamping our tools and bringing more and more and more of the one-stop shopping atmosphere to you. The coaching is absolutely what you pay for here inside the Slack channels. That's absolutely where the rubber meets the road. The tools are great, the content's great, but you're going to become a better player by getting the explanations, by asking the questions and getting the feedback, to making sure your thought process is correct, your contest selection is correct for the way you like to play. That you're just going to gain more confidence, you're going to gain more knowledge, you're going to hear little pearls get dropped by other coaches inside Slack channels that is going to make you open your eyes and think about things in a different way, which will improve your DFSA game. This has been ChopTalk. Come back and see me next week. We're going to start breaking down some specific slates and some specific plays, and we're going to make you a better player. Click the link, click the like, click the subscribe. DFSArmy.com, coupon code CHOP, CHOP. I will see you on the inside. Talk to you tomorrow, guys.